But the fact is, you do not have the assets to justify this loan. I'm sorry.
Welcome to MsMojo, and today we're counting down familiar locations or sets for a different production. Number 10, Wilmington, North Carolina, One Tree Hill, and Dawson's Creek.
I'm not doing it.
You have to. It's good PR.
It's humiliating.
The majority of Dawson's Creek was filmed in and around Wilmington, North Carolina. Dawson's Creek ended its run on the WB in 2003, and the same year the network introduced us to the Scott Brothers and One Tree Hill, while reintroducing us to a number of locations and sets. These include the Boardwalk, Cape Fear Memorial Bridge, and Rachel Gattina's house, which had been Chris Wolf's house on the creek. Number 9, North Hollywood Medical Center, The Office, and Scrubs.
To be safe, we should do an x-ray.
How long will that take?
Oh, shouldn't be too bad. It's a slow day.
Remember on The Office when Pam got injured playing volleyball and Jim took her to Sacred Heart Hospital where JD checked her out? Okay, so that never actually happened. But the hospital Jim and Pam went to in that episode was the North Hollywood Medical Center, a decommissioned hospital that was used as the set in a number of movies and television shows, including every episode of the first 8 seasons of Scrubs, except for the pilot. Number 8, Hatfield House, Lara Croft, Tomb Raider, and Sherlock Holmes.
Good morning, Lara. And what a beautiful morning it is.
You've probably seen the Hatfield House mansion on screen multiple times, especially as the residence of one iconic hero or another. Hatfield was the set for the lavish Wayne Manor in 1989's Batman, and it also doubled as Croft Manor in 2001's Lara Croft Tomb Raider. The gorgeous mansion also made another appearance on the silver screen as the headquarters of the Temple of the Four Orders in the 2009 flick Sherlock Holmes. Number 7, Acton Lane Power Station, Aliens and Batman. The giant Acton Lane Power Station was a London power station that closed down in 1983. In 1986, James Cameron came along and had the decaying asbestos in the plant professionally cleaned and used the station as an alien nest. Then a few years later, Tim Burton looked at it and decided it would make for the perfect Axis Chemicals plant location for the birth of the Joker in the 1989 Batman movie. Number 6, Quality Cafe, Mr. and Mrs. Smith, and 7.
I think I got ID'd on that hit. You've been ID'd on a hit?
For decades prior to 2006, 1236 West 7th Street in Los Angeles, California was the location of the Quality Cafe, an LA diner where a whole bunch of movies and television shows filmed scenes, including 2 Brad Pitt films, Mr. and Mrs. Smith, and 7. In the former, Pitt sits at the bar with Vince Vaughn discussing a failed assassination, while in the latter, Pitt's movie wife Gwyneth Paltrow sits in a booth with his partner Morgan Freeman and tells him she's pregnant with Pitt's child. Number 5, Bank of America Building, The Wedding Singer, and Spider-Man 2.
Do you have any experience?
No, sir, I have no experience, but I'm a big fan of money. I like it.
Robbie Hart from The Wedding Singer and Dr. Octopus from Spider-Man 2 have at least one thing in common. They both like money. One of the ways they differ, however, is that while Robbie wants to work to make money, Dr. Ock prefers stealing it. Although they do both bring their differing money-making philosophies to the same financial institution, the old Bank of America building at 650 South Spring Street in Los Angeles. Number 4, The Prince, Mad Men and New Girl. Did you know that Mad Men and New Girl both film scenes at the same Korean-style fried chicken restaurant? While The Prince is a decently reviewed restaurant, it makes for an awesome retro-style bar setting, which is how it's actually portrayed on screen.
Well, congratulations.
And we've definitely seen Don and Nick knock back a few while surrounded by that oh-so-recognisable wallpaper and retro decor, much of it dating back to when the place opened in 1949. It didn't become a Korean chicken joint until 1991. Number 3, John Marshall High School, Pretty in Pink and A Nightmare on Elm Street.
What the hell were you doing going to school today for anyway?
High school can be scary, but for the teens studying at Springwood High School in A Nightmare on Elm Street, the hallways could be deadly. And while there were no bloody bodies being dragged down the halls at Pretty in Pink's Meadowbrook High School, Ducky did get in a few good punches on Steph before they were pulled apart. Both of those violent scenes took place in the halls of John Marshall High School. Number 2, Randy's Donuts, Iron Man 2 and Earth Girls Are Easy.
Sir, I'm gonna have to ask you to exit the donut.
But a real-life iconic sign is at Randy's Donuts in Inglewood, California, which you've seen if you've watched the 1988 science fiction rom-com Earth Girls Are Easy or the 2010 MCU movie Iron Man 2. In Iron Man 2, the large donut is a place where our hero can find a little peace and quiet to enjoy his breakfast. While in Earth Girls Are Easy, there's no peace and quiet, as a couple of aliens drive a car off the highway and crash it into the large donut hole. Number 1, Greystone Mansion, Star Trek Into Darkness and The Muppets. The Greystone Mansion, aka the Doheny Mansion, was built in 1928 by oil magnate Edward L. Doheny as a gift to his son. Since 1965, the estate has been owned by the city of Beverly Hills, and over the ensuing decades, it has been the location for many a movie and TV show seeking a residence that exudes wealth and social prominence. It's where Kermit the Frog wanders around in lonely solitude, remembering the good old days. And the almost 100-year-old mansion was used as the site of the Royal Children's Hospital hundreds of years in the future in Star Trek Into Darkness.
What did you say? Your daughter. I can save her.